Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
This question might have been mentioned already, but I see the BYU game time is set, 11 a.m. question mark. Yes, 11 a.m. is correct. We get this. Two questions for you, Jamie. One, will the weather affect baseball, do you think, JL? That from 1M.
I don't think so. I think it's in the sunlight, and I don't think...
It's going to be in the mid-60s.
Yeah,
just blustery,
windy, but I expect them to play today.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about the hot dog wrappers blowing across the field because I don't think they have any concessions open.
Yeah, so I would expect it to. I expect them to play today. I would be surprised if. I mean, the weather's in the 60s that they would.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Somebody else just wants to know, how is Texas Tech baseball looking?
I mean, some days better than others, but I think there's a lot of things that I have liked this year. As far as, I think you got a lot of, you brought in some more impact offensive players, and I think that we're seeing guys take steps forward on the mound and getting better, and with two new pitching coaches, pitching coach, pitching analyst. They do things a little bit differently, so nobody's gone more than 2 innings at a time. So you're not really seeing any dominating performances where you're talking about guys going 5 innings and giving up just 1 or 2 hits or something like that. There's nothing really to write home about with that stuff, but I definitely think the back end of your staff looks like it'll be a lot better than it was last year. The key part is can you develop frontline starters? That is so incredibly important and something that you really struggled with last year with getting off to bad starts. And so seeing who those guys are that are going to step up and consistently give you a chance to win on the weekend, that's what you're trying to develop at this point. And that's all you're doing at this point. You're developing guys. You're working on things. And so it's hard to look at pitching in the fall and you can see that there's good stuff, no question, but you know that they're working on things so you don't get too high or too low with what you see pitching-wise in the fall.
Are you curious on this, on the pitching coaches situation? I mean, that you got one that's the coach and one that's the analyst, and just kind of how that's going to change things up a little bit?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think already you can see that they do things differently. So it's interesting to see that to a certain degree, but to be honest with you, I don't care how the sausage is made. I just want the sausage to taste good come February.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just kind of you're not back there in the kitchen, so to speak.
Good gosh, no.
Among the things that Coach McGuire said yesterday, he did say, with regard to Baron Morton's health, that if Arizona State had been the last game, it might have been a different conversation with regard to him playing. And that one of the things that they kind of keep a hold of is that Baron has such a high pain tolerance that sometimes they have to protect him from him. In other words, in keeping him saying, he'll say, I want to go on the field, I can play, I'm good. But sometimes you have those guys like that. You have to kind of help keep them from hurting themselves even more. He also said that when they did the analytics, and this, I think we all knew this, but that there wasn't much difference in the win percentage of Barron starting on Saturday against Oklahoma State and Will starting against Oklahoma State. That just wasn't it. At the end of the day, it really wasn't worth it. You know, because it wasn't going to change the outcome that much.
Well, the line changed the whole point.
Okay. Went down a point.
From 38.5 to 37.5.
Okay. Well, there you go. So you see the...
So I'm in agreement with Coach McGuire.
A line, by the way, that you still covered.
Yeah, still covered. Morton, by the way, was 6th the last time that Texas Tech won at K-State. And Coach McGuire said he wasn't going to concern themselves with history. He said not a lot of our guys have played against Kansas State, so that's good. I mean, that's good that don't worry about the history of it because it doesn't really matter. He also made a Major League movie reference. He was asked about the quarterback injuries, and said, maybe it's, we're made references to Indian burial grounds and the movie Major League and chickens and stuff like that. He said the injuries have been freaky. Collarbones, ACLs, ankles, all kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they do need to burn something over there.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know. Have you seen that movie?
Major League?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why?
That surprises me.
Did I see Major League?
Yes.
What, because it's a baseball movie or because it's just a movie?
Because it's not one of the 2 movies you've seen.
Yeah, I've never heard you reference it.
Oh, I'm
before.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, no, I love that movie. I think it's great.
I mean, Animal House? Yes, we know you have seen Animal House.
I know.
think it's
I didn't know
referenced.
that he had seen any others besides that and the space movie
Apollo 13. Yeah. Well, there's some fairness probably to that critique.
It's not a critique. It's just
An observation.
I'd never heard you reference Major League.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a fantastically funny movie.
It is. Willie Mays, run like Hayes. Run like Hayes, play like Mays. Run like Mays, play like Hayes. Something like that. Willie Mays Hayes.
Is run like Mays, hit like blank. I think that's what the line was.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
Hit like not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. No bueno. 6:40 this morning here on the Morning Drive. This day in sports history is next. Today's the last Tuesday in October, by the way. Sunday, you got to fall back. We spring forward in spring, and you fall back in the fall, so you get to pick up an extra hour, which means it gets dark early. Depressing time of the year, but it is what it is. Can't really do anything about it. So that'll help people going to work in the morning because the sun won't be in their eyes as they're driving towards downtown on the loop going east. So probably make it maybe a little bit safer, but that's not really why they do it. All right.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Today is Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1959, Jamie Lent was a very happy little kid.
And he didn't even know it yet.
He didn't even know it yet because the American Football League awarded the Buffalo Bills franchise to Ralph C. Wilson.
Go Bills.
1975, Calvin Murphy of the Houston Rockets begins an NBA free throw streak of 58 consecutive games without a miss.
I was just excited about that. Make your free throws already.
Oh, my gosh. We're getting into that season right now. Make your free throws.
They're called free for a reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe work on them a little bit. Just a thought.
In the year 2000, Derek Doris catches 4 touchdown passes, and Cliff Kingsbury throws for 405 yards as Texas Tech beats Kansas 45-39.
Jamie, do you think Cliff Kingsbury is a Ring of Honor candidate for his time as a player here?
It would definitely be for me. Not sure what other people's opinions are, but definitely for me.
In 2015, in the longest first game of the World Series, that has to be prefaced now, 5 hours and 9 minutes, and jointly the longest by innings of 14, Kansas City Royals beat the New York Mets 5-4. No fun story about you walking out of the stadium very happy that day?
No fun story for me on that series.
Well, I tried chatline. 2018 in the World Series, Boston Red Sox beat the Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5 at Dodger Stadium to win their 9th title in franchise history. It is National Chocolate Day.
Just chocolate, huh?
Just chocolate. Enjoy chocolate. Unless
Dark
you have an
chocolate,
allergy.
Milk chocolate, cooking chocolate, chocolate with peanut butter, any kind of chocolate.
Yes. Chocolate. They were not specific today.
Chocolate milk, maybe.
These are the days we like, when we get to do what we want.
How about hot chocolate?
With milk?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Big time happy birthday is going out to Darcel Macbeth, who turns 40 today. And John Robertson is 37. Bill Gates, 70. Julia Roberts is 58. Matt Smith, 43. Annie Potts, 73. Joaquin Phoenix is 51. Brad Paisley is 53. Lauren Holly, 62. Terrell Davis, 53. Lenny Wilkins, 88. And Gus Malzahn is 60. And on this day, in 1886, the Statue of Liberty, a gift of friendship from the people of France to the people of the United States, is dedicated in New York Harbor by President Grover Cleveland. Originally known as Liberty Enlightened the World, the statue was proposed by French abolitionist Edward de la Monnaie to commemorate the
What was that again?
There's no way I got that right. Franco-American alliance during the American Revolution.
Okay.
And that is This Day in Sports History.
This Day in Sports History. Thank you, Jeff.
You know, on the plaque, it says the New Colossus. There's a plaque underneath the Statue of Liberty titling it the New Colossus.
Okay. What is that?
In Rhodes, back in way ancient times, there was a giant bronze statue that was the Colossus of Rhodes, and it actually, one of the ancient wonders of the world. So this is the New Colossus.
Okay.
Yeah,
The Statue of Liberty.
Over a little bit towards the Yankee Stadium, you'll see a plaque. This is the Colossus of Clout underneath
Yes.
Babe Ruth's plaque.
Good old Lady Liberty. She has such bad luck in movies, though.
I saw this.
She's always destroyed in movies.
Yeah. I saw this, Jamie, and I thought you'd like to comment on this, or at least I'm sure you probably see it. Steven Strasburg is going to join San Diego State as a special assistant.
That's cool.
Of course, he was a
Superstar
pitcher for the Washington Nationals, and then he pitched for San Diego State from 2007 to 2009 before becoming the top pick in the Major League Baseball amateur draft. He played there for the late coach Tony Gwynn. He's 37. His career was cut short by injury. He went 113 and 62 with a 324 earned run average. They tried to, they tried really hard to kind of limit his innings and protect him a little bit, but his body just wore out. And of course, he won the Golden Spikes Award, and he was awarded also the Dick Howser Trophy, and he was chosen to be part of the 2025 College Baseball Hall of Fame induction class. That Howser Trophy was given to him here, I believe, in Lubbock, that particular year. So that's pretty cool. 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that. Just seeing this note, I was not watching the baseball game last night. I was watching the football game, but George Springer goes out with a right side injury. His status for tonight's game is uncertain. Injured himself on a swing in the 7th and was grabbed the right side of his body. So maybe one of those obliques. He's gone in for an MRI. His manager, John Schneider, said we'll see how it comes back and see how he wakes up on Tuesday. But it sucks. Yeah, that's a big bat to go out of that lineup.
Yeah, that's a guy who's had lots of postseason success.
Yeah.
Really important to their offense.
Yeah, and Dr. Mike Gustafson confirms my thought that it was that he was awarded the Hauser Trophy here in Lubbock. He said correct in Lubbock for Strasburg. Okay, so I'm glad that my memory didn't fail me on that one, Jamie. So that's good, and it's good for Strasburg to get back. I mean, 37. He's got a lot of life left to live. Maybe he's a guy that can be a guy that, who knows, could be a coach someday if he so desires.
At the major league level, because it sounds like he's going to be coaching now.
Yeah, he's like they call him a special assistant, but he'll be coaching.
Yeah,
he'll be helping. Bullfighter posts this on this day in 2023. Choice and Bullfighter went to Game 2 of the Rangers World Series and posts a fine picture of the two of them. Okay, so if you want to see what Bullfighter looks like and Choice together, you can see them out there at the old ballpark in Arlington before a World Series game. Choice is
like us. They look better on the radio.
Oh yeah, much better.
Although Bullfighter's Rangers gear is pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Choice has got Texas Tech gear on. Choice looks like he could be like a third base coach for the Red Raiders in that gear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the guy's got the ball cap.
He would send them every time.
He'd probably have that wind him up and send him, and then people would be cussing him on the chat line. What are we doing? We have no breaks, I guess. All right, hour one in the books here this morning on the morning drive. We'll continue on as we'll talk some Texas Tech football. Reminder, high school fan zone tonight, coaches from Monterey and Coronado. And then also tonight, Game 4 of the World Series. Dodgers won in 18 last night. A walk-off by Freddie Freeman. Home run for Mr. Freeman. Coverage tonight at 6:30 here on Double T 97.3. We'll also have Game 5 tomorrow night at 6:30.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
What concerns me most, this is sarcasm here, I recognize it. What concerns me most is that they will be wearing Kansas State uniforms.
I don't think that's sarcasm.
Okay.
I don't think.
Not sarcasm.
I don't think that's sarcasm.
I think when I saw that,
I am a believer in that as well.
I think when I saw that initially, I thought it was going to be what color they were wearing, but I glanced over it and I said I said the sarcasm first, and
that logo.
It's just funny as we struggle to sometimes understand people's sarcasm.
Right.
And Chuck announced that he understood that was sarcasm,
but it was not. It was not. Yeah, no, I have to admit that. I just, like I said, when I just glanced at that, I thought, oh, that's going to be he's making light of the fact that sometimes it's not sometimes. I'll tell you every week what color uniform we're wearing.
11 out of the last 12.
Yeah. Did I miss one?
11 out of the last 12. Kansas State wins over Texas Tech.
11 of the last 12, yeah. It is really a bad thing that your quarterback coming off shoulder surgery gets a game and a half off before the home stretch. I don't think so. Jamie says that was actually Rob Rowe singing there. Okay.
Technically, wouldn't we say Barron's sat for 2.5 games? I mean, he didn't play against Arizona State. He didn't play this week, and then he
was out a half a game. Yeah,
missed part of the previous game.
Yeah,
so it's 2.5 games.
2.5. Yeah,
that he's been over there in a lounge chair eating bonbons.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Clarification there. Jeff, I think you need to keep the theme with honky tonk and Western music for bumpers the rest of the hour. Okay. All right, well, we'll see about that. All right, Coach McGuire was asked about Kansas State, and just by them losing by just 14 points, they're probably sneakier and better than what maybe we're giving them credit for. Here's Coach McGuire.
it doesn't surprise me because I do think they have a really strong culture. I mean, that's, Kleiman, that's been his calling card throughout his career. They're a hard-nosed football team. They've got one of the best receivers that will be drafted this year, number one. They've got a legitimate dual-threat quarterback. They're playing better on defense. You look at them, too, the one thing they are doing that we've got to do a great job of is we got to take care of the football. I think they're number 3 in the country, +9 in the turnover margin. That's been huge. That was a huge part of the win last week against Kansas. I think there was 21 points that were scored off of turnovers. So we got to do a good job. But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're a team that you think about it, like we didn't have a media poll this year, but if we would have had a media poll this year, they would have been one of the picks by a lot of people to win the Big 12. And just had sometimes the ball hadn't bounced their way, but it's bouncing their way right now.
Sure seems that way, doesn't it? But they've also made it so that the ball is bouncing their way with how they've played defensively and offensively and capitalizing on those opportunities. And
let's avoid letting the ball bounce.
Okay.
Keep it in our arms.
Okay.
Unless we force them to bounce it.
Yeah.
Bounce off of anybody, or
don't let them tip it up in the air and bounce all those their guys.
All those things. But I mean, you think about it, they had lost 3 of 4 going into the game against TCU, and while that was a home game, that was still a game that I think the final score was a little bit further apart than what we thought it was going to be. I mean, I'm sure TCU went in there thinking, hey, how hard do these guys want to play, and how much do they want to be there? Well, they found out because TCU lost
their answer.
Yeah, TCU lost that game 41-28. Then they had a week off, and they played at Kansas, and the people in the desert ignored they ignored history, the fact that K-State had won 16 games in a row, and they ignored the quality of the K-State team, and said KU is going to be a 3.5-point favorite, and ignored that Kansas's defense is just atrocious, and K-State went in there and thwomped them 42-17. So that leads us to the game on Saturday, and one of the things that Coach McGuire talked about yesterday too was, he said from the defensive line standpoint, going against this K-State offense, it's going to be very important for them to stay in their gap, stay in their pass rush lanes, do it all together. They really want to limit Avery Johnson and keep him from punishing you, and that is going to be a tall task. But I mean, your defense is one of the best in the country, so in theory, you should be able to do this, right?
Correct. That is what you're hoping for, and I think it's not necessarily about getting sacks. It's about getting pressure and making him feel uncomfortable, but also staying in your rush lanes and not allowing him to escape out and make big plays either with his feet or then throwing the ball once he gets out of the pocket.
Well, we'll have the game for you at 2:30 from Manhattan. Our coverage will begin at 7 a.m. Saturday morning with Optimum Game Day Live. One of the questions that was posed to Coach McGuire with regard to Jacob Rodriguez was him as a Heisman candidate. You have a comment on that or a thought on that? Should he be given consideration for that?
I think he should win it.
I think he should win it. Okay. But
I mean, obviously, the odds of a linebacker winning the Heisman Trophy are pretty small, unless he better be playing on a team that's competing for a national championship. So
you win a couple of more games, and you're going to put yourself in that spot.
Rodriguez is a terrific player, and game in, game out, he's making big plays for the Red Raiders. Not just a lot of plays, but big plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, forcing turnovers and scoring touchdowns, whatever. Do I think he's one of the best players in college football? Yes. Do I think he'll have a chance to win the Heisman as a linebacker at Texas Tech? No.
No. Yeah. No. Or maybe even anywhere, right? I mean,
is he a quarterback or running back?
If he was at Ohio State,
you think he'd have a chance?
He might. He might.
Is he a quarterback or a running back, or does work on both offense and defense?
No.
That's who the Heisman's gone to.
Yeah, no, I get it. But he did say, and I just don't know if you have a different opinion on this, he did say that there's really not a no-brainer right now for the Heisman.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Ohio State quarterback and the Alabama quarterback are both getting some love there with what they've done this season. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, not just this, Captain Obvious choice that might be out there. So, I don't know. That was it. Boy, we have an early prediction here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Texas Tech 42, Kansas State 17. Prediction, KSU not that good, guys. Okay. Their offense has not scored more than 21 points against the top 50 defense. Okay. Derek says this, sarcasm doesn't always translate over text. I agree. Mm-hmm. I'm an example of that, of not being able to recognize that over text sometimes. Am I the only one worried that we are one more Morton injury away from a 8-win season? Well, I don't know about the 8-win season, but I think everybody to a person is probably concerned about a Baron Morton injury and what that puts you in.
I think you could win the last 2 games with Mitch Griffiths.
Yeah. So that would give you 9, but that's not what we're after here. By any stretch of the
imagination. He said 8-win season.
Yeah.
That's all I'm referencing.
Okay.
There.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. The UCF game and the West Virginia game. They're the Saturday after Thanksgiving. But first things first, K-State on Saturday. Jamie's question of the day is next this morning.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, today I'm going to say this. If I was going to ask you the question of who are the best 3 players on the Red Raider football team, and I was to say name them in order 1, 2, and 3, who has been the best 3 football players? I'm assuming that we would go number 1, Jacob Rodriguez, and number 2, David Bailey. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You're taking those 2 off the table.
Who is number 3?
Oh, who's number 3? Who is number 3? Number 3. It doesn't really go like number 1. When you said that, the first player that came to my mind... Do you want an offensive guy or a defensive guy, or it doesn't matter? Doesn't matter.
Want the number 3 guy.
Okay, the guy whose name came into my brain was Jacoby Williams.
Okay.
You seem disappointed with that.
I'm not disappointed. You have the right to choose whoever you want.
For how much your offense has missed him. Number 3, Baron Morton.
$13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 68% completion percentage, over 1,500 yards passing this year. I have a hard time going away from that. How your team looks different without him.
Mm-hmm. Those are good points by you fellas. Mm-hmm. I mean, statistically, my numbers really don't look very good with Jacoby Williams, but I just think he's been electric.
No argument. No argument whatsoever.
Yeah, I would, if you were going with a running back, I would have gone with Cam Dickey.
Yeah, I understand that. He's got more yards. He's got more touchdowns.
Almost 300 more yards.
Yeah, I got you.
No, he doesn't have a kick return for a touchdown.
He doesn't.
No.
And Jacoby Williams also has 295 yards in receptions, 19 catches. Cam's got 13. The Baron Morton, kind of what you've missed from him, because, man, you sure feel like Would have loved to have had him against Arizona State, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You win that game if you've got Baron Morton, probably.
I think if we're going much farther, I have to include Cam Dickey, Koyakin in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Romello Height doesn't have the stats, but I think he's also been really, really good for you.
11 unassisted tackles, 9 assisted tackles. Yeah. 9 quarterback hurries. Lee Hunter's been really good for you, too. 4 unassisted, 18 assisted.
And I think the guy on this team that gets overlooked the most is Ben Roberts. I mean, because Jacob is so good and he plays alongside of him. I think Roberts is really good as well.
He's second on the team in tackles behind Jacob Rodriguez. 26 unassisted, 25 assisted. 3 quarterback hurries.
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple forced fumbles. Rodriguez has 5 forced fumbles. Okay. If you have an opinion on that, if you have somebody else that you'd like to throw out there, you can go to the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app or the Visual Edge IT hotline. That number is 806-771-0973. Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. Morton is 104 of 152, 3 interceptions, as you guys said, 13 touchdowns, 1,501 yards. His longest has gone for 73 yards on a catch and run. And he's almost triple the number of Will Hammett, who's thrown for 680 yards on the season. Obviously, Barron's got more playing time, but Will's played in every game, but is now done for the season. So. Let's see here. Tech should hold a quarterback competition for free rent and find a quarterback like they did a kicker. Yeah, right. Now that is sarcasm.
Yeah, I like the two that we got.
Yeah.
1 and 2 going into this thing. Would have liked to have Will in the mix too, but nothing came along those lines. I mean, just the way it is. Holden Phillips looked good in his
he did.
limited time.
He did. Yeah, he did. I guess he's QB3 for the moment, right?
Right now.
Yeah, right now. 7:38 this morning here on the morning drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's see if there was anything that stood out to me from what Sheil Wood or Mac Leftwich had to say yesterday. Both were available. We'll have comments from them throughout the week as well. For Coach Wood, his comment on Avery Johnson is really good player, stay in the rush lanes, keep leverage on the run and the pass, and he feels like so far he's here recently has become more pleased with his cornerback play, Jamie. He was asked about Jacob Rodriguez, but among the things that he said about him, which are all the things that you've heard people say about him before, he said he's a good note taker in meetings.
Okay, that had to please you.
Yeah, it did, because I'm a note taker, but and sometimes it's hard to get everything down when guys are filling out so much information for you. But I thought that was pretty cool. With regard to Mac Leftwich, he was proud of the way that Mitch Griffiths came in, and he's hopeful that Baron Morton can pick up where he left off. And aren't we all, right?
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With us today on the Morning Drive, we come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Interesting comment from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, and I wondered this too, and I don't have the answer for it. This texture says with regard to the Will Hammond injury, and he's going to have surgery here within the next few days once the swelling goes down, and then they can go in and do the surgery. It's just an ACL. I say just an ACL. It's isolated. There wasn't any more damage than that, so I think they feel good about the recovery and the rehab and that kind of stuff. But this person said Coach McGuire had an interesting comment about the ACL recovery. He said ACL tears used to be 6 to 7 months injuries, but now it's 9 months, sometimes a year. I wonder why that is. I'll just say this. I think every knee injury and knee surgery seems to be different. And the recovery is different for different folks depending on how good they are at rehabbing or the damage to the knee or things along those lines. So whether it's 6 or 7 months or 9 months, the main thing that probably you're going to have to do more than anything else is you got to go get yourself a quarterback, Jamie.
Yeah, I think normally in these situations we say, well, the technology's better now.
Yeah, right.
So do we talk about the technology being worse now? I don't think so. I think the answer here has to be something that they have figured out, that it is better to take longer in this deal for the strength and the ability to continue to avoid injury in the future. That's the only answer, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean that can be the only thing.
Yeah, I just think that and I think the other thing too that sometimes is lost on this, and I've heard professional athletes talk about this, and I've heard LeVar Arrington talk about this on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe before with regard to either his own personal injuries or injuries of other professional athletes or just athletes in general. There's a mental aspect of it too that you have to overcome, whether it's getting hit again or getting hit on that knee again or being able to cut again or all those kinds of things. So,
and not sitting around doing nothing while you're in the rehab process, feeling bad for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you still staying in shape? Are you still doing things to get yourself ready to come back as soon as possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, and be able to compete at a high level as soon as possible. But, I would tell you, Chuck, as far as the portal thing goes, I would tell you my guess is, because Will Hammond is a less experienced quarterback, with the roster you have and the expectations and I expect that you're going to have a similar roster again next year, wouldn't you assume that this was not a one-time deal, that we're going to hit the portal again hard and bring in some of the best players in the country that are available again?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would totally assume that to be the case. I would have assumed that with an inexperienced young quarterback and Will Hammond coming back, that you would have gone after a guy to compete with him for the starting job anyway, even before he got hurt.
Yeah.
That's an assumption. Nobody's ever told me that, but that would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's kind of the, I don't want to say it's the ugly part of the way things are now, but you're not really grooming guys to be good in a few years. We need you to be good right now. And if you're not going to be great right now, then we're going to let you be the backup and we're going to bring somebody else in for a year. That's not to say that Will couldn't have beat them out. I'm not suggesting that he wouldn't have had a shot to do that. But my guess is that they would have had somebody coming in, not to serve as the third string guy like you did this year, but to compete for the starting job. Yeah,
because my understanding, and look, I don't have this verbatim, this is just my understanding of the money, is that you used the July 1st date and you paid everybody to get yourself in position for this year, and that you haven't used any of your $20.5 million for this year, or excuse me, whatever you're using for football. It's like 80 some odd % of that, okay? So let's just say it's $18 million or whatever the number is, and that you'll use that to bring in this next class. So you haven't spent any money of your guaranteed money for this year yet on football. You're going to do that for all of next year. So you, in essence, have the majority of your money left over for next year's roster, which would mean you'd be you'd be foolish not to bring in a quarterback, because that's the most important position on the field, right? I mean, you want to make sure your defensive line's shored up and your linebackers are good and your receivers are good and you have a good corners and all this other stuff. But man, it all goes behind the center, right? I mean, if you don't have a good quarterback, not that nothing else means anything, but man, it sure means everything when you have that quarterback that's, directing traffic.
Yeah, I definitely feel like you're putting your team at risk a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you, even this offseason, felt like the Red Raiders should have brought in a veteran quarterback to compete with Baron Morton.
To help, just to make sure.
The part that I say is somewhat, I don't know, dirty. It feels a little bit like you bring these guys in and it feels like it's their turn, and then you bring somebody else to jump in front of them. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just business.
Just the way it is.
Albert says this: when my son had ACL reconstruction with Dr. Crawford from a football injury, we were told that Dr. Crawford does not want players returning to the sport having to use a brace. So the healing time and return to sports time is longer. I will say that when he returned, he was 100%, did not have any recurring injuries after that. So I'm a believer. Okay, that makes sense. This ACL rehab a few years ago, research came out that we were rushing most athletes back too soon. Yeah, they're the Adrian Petersons and Wes Welkers that came back in 7 months, but those are the outliers and not the norm. That makes some sense too. Yeah.
So it was as we expected.
Yeah.
That the research has showed that it's better to take longer.
Yeah.
For for your future.
Yeah. That like I said, that makes.
I am far from a doctor, but I could figure that out.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no other answer, right?
There's no other answer.
There was no other answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense to me.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.